welcome to episode 2 of the Honda CRV conversion series. As you can see, it's snowing. It's currently October, and right now I'm about to take out the rear seats in the snow because I miss Vermont, I guess. Either way, it'll be fun. Let's get started.
To start off here, you're just going to play around with the pulleys everywhere until you can figure out how to open the seats, and then you're going to climb underneath the seats at the most uncomfortable angle possible. In fact, you'll be almost 90 degrees to the car, maybe more at some points. You're going to keep fooling around and getting frustrated until you figure out that you actually need to stick a screwdriver into a little hole on the side of this plastic piece here, even though you successfully pulled off the first one without doing so. Because why would it be consistent? And even after you've figured that out, you're going to continually stick the screwdriver in there. And even if you don't hear a click, you're going to continually wiggle that plastic piece, even though you know that it's still locked on there because you do not feel like dealing with it. No matter how hard you push, if that screwdriver is not in the correct spot, it ain't gonna open. You'll learn this eventually. Choose the correct socket size, stick it onto the ratchet, and then get to work. Make sure you put it on the wrong setting first, though. And even though you're holding a socket, make sure to complete the last 10 to 15 turns of the nut with your hand, because that's what you should do. Fold down the seats, fold them down again a little bit further, and realize that there are actually 2 more bolts that you need to take out. Underneath, guess what? The other half of the plastic pieces. Then check under the carpet for some reason, just to see what's down there, making sure that the rest of the car is still waiting for you when you get to that part. Then you're going to climb into the back, grab the seat as hard as you can and start rocking back and forth because for some reason you think you're stronger than the bolts. You're not trying to break them or anything, but you think that they might just pop out if you pull hard enough. Alas, they don't. And make sure you're drinking for this part because you're going to need to use the ratchet again, but you're going to act like you do not know how to use one. In fact, you're going to act like you don't know that the socket even needs to meet into the ratchet. And once you figure out how to actually get those turns going, make sure you only turn it no more than 1/8 every single rotation, and use 2 hands too, just in case you're not strong enough. And once you've actually figured out that you can rotate a full 360 degrees with the ratchet, the bolts are already 3/4 of the way out. Grab the seat, pull it vertically out, rocking back and forth, and then store it in a closet where there's a little bit of extra room but you don't actually have permission to use.
By the way, if you're doing this at home, I just want to explain how to take this off real quick because it took me a few minutes to figure it out. But on the third one, I finally figured it out. So I think this would be a little bit easier with a flathead screwdriver. We just have a Phillips today though. But basically what's going on is that these 2 are clipped together, right? And the actual steel strut of the seat is right here. There's a bolt right here and a bolt right here hidden underneath. And so what you need to do is remove the plastic covers to be able to access the bolt to be able to remove the seat. So these are kind of clipped in. This one's a bit worn down now, and obviously it's not in place, so it's not going to be as strong as it actually would be when mounted, but this is how you take it off. So get the screwdriver, stick it in here, and don't go up, don't go up, don't go down, don't go this way, but push it in and go like that. And in doing so, you'll push this out. You can see the little impact spot that I made with the screwdriver head. And you'll see that the other side just actually popped out. It's also popping out of my hands, but the other side popped out when I did that. That is not what happened when it was mounted in there because it's flush with the ground, so it doesn't have anywhere to fall. And so you just gotta, I'll do it one more time for you real quick so that you can save time on your project. So have that on there. We'll do this on the other side now. Put that in there. You're gonna stick the screwdriver in and push the opposite way. Push on the longer side here. See how easily that just popped out? Just goes right out. Usually. There you go. Okay. I'm just thinking about something. I want to thank Biscuit and Diane for letting me use these tools, and I want to thank Jesse at the lumber store, but it's just so fascinating to me that this stuff is possible, just the culmination of human knowledge. Even like the ratchet, how many years did it take before humans perfected the ratchet? And the ratchet was created because we needed it, because it met the need of taking off bolts. And it's just crazy to me, like this CRV, this machine exists, and I need these tools to work on it, but I don't just need the tools because that's not given knowledge. That's not inherent genetic knowledge that we have to work on cars. For some folks, sure, they're more easily able to understand it and understand concepts of automotive maintenance and repair, but it's not something you're born with. It's knowledge that we have to get from other people, whether that's through books or a YouTube tutorial or word of mouth in this case. But it's just so incredibly remarkable. Humans are absolutely amazing.
And when you head back out there to do the rest of the work, make sure that you leave both car doors open so that it forms a kind of wind tunnel and the snow gets everything soaking wet all throughout. Repeat the same process with the little plastic pieces and the ratchet on this half of the car to pull out those bolts. Then flip the seats forward. Make sure everything falls all around the place. This time you're expecting the bolts in the back, so you're not too frustrated, but you still decide to follow the non-conventional method to get these plastic pieces off with the screwdriver, despite having literally just given a tutorial to the camera. Act surprised when it flies off, but not too surprised. Go at it with the ratchet again to get those bolts out, and you're on the road to success.
Looks like the previous owner had a dog or a cat. But right now I'm about as cold as a Canadian goose is this year. You know, they tried to go south for the winter, but they couldn't because the borders were closed. So I think I'm gonna save the rest for tomorrow. Well, the time has come to get the plywood and some other supplies for the project, and I managed to pull it off with the CRV with some very expensive, very high quality equipment here. So we've got some high tensile strength, 1 millimeter thick twine going on here. And so this was actually given to me by the lumberyard store guy because I guess he didn't want me to get a ticket. And then, so this is the main piece actually keeping this all together. You can see just how strong and taut this is. There's no way that this wood would ever fly off of there. And then we've got an NRS 12 strap going right across there. So that's really just like a backup, and then as the
back up, we've got my throw rope here, and this, by the way, is how you can tell if a river guide needs to haul something and they don't have a pickup truck. And the cool thing about using this throw bag to actually tie things down onto your vehicle is that it turns your vehicle, it modifies it into a race car, because look at this. Oh, can't get in. So what you have to do is you have to channel your inner NASCAR, swing those legs over, and then you're in. And then this actually has a pretty cool handheld feature. They didn't have this in last year's model, so it's just a double knot here, and then you can hold your hand in this, or you can just relax your hand up there and pull down, or you can loop your entire hand through if you don't have such big meaty paws, and then just relax it like that, like you're tied down. And some people actually are quite into this, but what it does really is it just keeps tension on there, because why would you tie it down with a trucker's hitch when you can do this and drive at the same time and still have your left hand to hold a camera? Why wouldn't you do that? And it's really just amazing too, because if you go fast enough, you'll pick up enough speed that this will lift up and it'll start to become a little sail, which is just so cool. And by the way, I'm available for hire for any type of work like this. If you need to haul plywood, give me a call. Even if all you have is a motorcycle, we'll get it done, one way or the other. Now it's time to assemble the roof rack that you got from some guy on eBay. It says it's adjustable, but it isn't really. So we're gonna use just an Allen key that was provided and some bolts, and we're gonna hand tighten most of this without any power tools. We're just gonna assemble it piece by piece here until it will barely fit through the doorway. This part was actually kind of fun. It felt like building Legos. Then we're going to take it outside at night. And this actually was the next day, including the last clip as well. So it's pretty remarkable how quickly all that snow melted. And we're going to climb on top of the roof here and just put those brackets onto the pre-installed roof rack. And this is kind of called a skybox, or like cargo mount on top of the car. So we're just going to secure it down as best as we can. I later hit this with some power tools to make sure it was really on there, but for now hand tightening is good enough. Another big plus of installing one of these cargo racks on top of the roof is that you can actually walk on top of the cargo rack, aka you can stand on top of your car. Now I'm going to install these seat covers. I've always wanted seat covers like this for my entire life, and I finally have them and a good vehicle to put them in, so I'm very excited about these. But I had never actually installed seat covers before, and it was pretty confusing having to pull part of it through the seat and everything, but I figured it out eventually. And that about wraps up episode 2. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Remember to stay hungry and stay CRV. That doesn't make any sense, but I'll see you later.